So here we have an individual who is complaining after I pointed out that the radioactivity release from Fukushima was insufficient to produce any measurable medical effects in the Japanese public. The complaint being that I am being dismissive of the evacuation. And I most sincerely am not wanting to dismiss that. That was huge. That is a huge impact. What I would also like to point out, though, is that that is a very conservative thing. We do that here in the United States. The dose that you would get from, for example, a CT scan to the hip or pelvis, it's about 1 rem. Right around 1 rem is where the EPA would just start to recommend evacuation. They probably would recommend it by at least 2 rem. If you get 2 rem per year from any kind of radioactivity in the environment, they would recommend evacuation, which is about the same dose that you get from a positron emission tomography scan or a PET scan to the whole body. And to further put that in context, 5 rem, which is the maximum that the EPA would say you should evacuate people if they get 5 rem. 5 rem is actually a legal dose to a radiation worker. It's well below any measurable medical effects. And so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to some people why we would do that, make somebody move if you don't expect any measurable medical effects. It's a conservative measure. It's simply because you don't want them to be getting 5 rem here, 5 rem there, 5 rem in multiple places. The idea being that if by the time you've gotten upwards of around 20 rem, then you're going to start getting measurable medical effects. And so we want to keep the numbers well below that. So there's not a reason to panic or reason to fear. It's just being conservative. And even at 20 rem, the probability of getting cancer is quite small. It's not until you get up to around 100 rem that it's about a 5% increase over your natural cancer incidence rate for an annual exposure. So these are conservative measures, and yeah, that is a big deal when you have to evacuate. And that's one of the real attractive features of these new small modular reactors. If they did have a meltdown and they had a catastrophic failure, the evacuation zone would be within the fence, not like our old 1970s reactors that we're using today, where the evacuation zone is much further out. So the newer tech is much more impressive. The older tech is impressive, is just not as good as we would like it to be, which is why we've come out with newer generation, newer technology, much more impressive and rigorous safety features. So thanks for the comment. I hope that helped. I don't think the comment was meant to be nice, but I hope the response was. So have a good day.